There's so many subjects out there that are far, far bigger than we think they are. And a lot more to them than what we've been told. When you get into theology and religion, that's very difficult, filled with minefields everywhere.
The actual formation of the State of Israel, the fact that there was stuff I'd never seen before because I wasn't looking for it, regarding the Zionist Council that came up with the concept of, and the fact is that they chose various other lands. They were looking at possibly even settling in Alaska, Madagascar, simply to create a Jewish homeland.
The first place the Zionists picked to have their homeland was in Uganda, Africa. And they went in, they didn't say to the Ugandan government, this land is ours. God gave us this land and it's ours. They just said, we'd like to have a place to live. Would you give us part of Uganda? So we'll call it Israel. And the Ugandan government thought about it and they said, no, we've decided no, it's not going to work out. Go someplace else. So then they even picked a part of Texas before they went into Palestine. They picked a place in Texas, and the Texas government said, no, we're not interested in having another state, another country within our country. We're not interested in that. Right. The way we're set up is we're set up as a republic, and we have 48 states here. We don't need to have another country move in. It's not going to work. They have many different places. They kept trying to set up a homeland here and there and everywhere. And then they finally figured it out. They went to England and they talked with the Lord Rothschild, and Lord Rothschild said yes. And so he was the Lord. They went to the Lord, and the Lord said, yes, I will give you a place to live. And so the Lord Rothschild said to go to the one place in the world that is the most docile country in the world. Go to Palestine. Those people are just farmers. Go in there and just rape them. Just go in and take everything and tell them God sent you. That, nobody's going to argue with that. If the Lord sent you, then that's that. So just go in there and take over the country, pile in with tanks and guns and machine guns, and pile over into their country and tell them the Lord sent you.
The idea here, though, was that the Palestinians had been subjugated by the British, the Egyptians, various other peoples had basically ruled over them, and that was just the way of things. They were constantly in this sort of position.
The most important part of this whole story has been missing since day one, and that is Israel is a creation of the Masonic order, British Freemasonry. The Masonic order created Israel, period, and created it for a political reason, so that eventually there will come a day if the Masonic order continues to publicize the idea that the Lord is with the Jewish people, the Jews are the God's chosen people. That's all Masonic folklore, and none of it is based on factual truth, none of it. Today in Israel, there are many professors and teachers, archaeologists, paleontologists, scientists who are writing books saying that there was no ancient Israel ever existed. It's a story that has no basis in fact whatsoever. There was no ancient Israel ever. It never existed. There was no King Solomon and King David and the kings and queens and all of these wonderful names of great prophets and all of these people that we see in the Old Testament and the New Testament. None of it is history. It's all made up by secret societies and fraternal orders in Europe, which seek to establish some sort of a world government based on the idea that it is God's will, and we wouldn't want to fight against the Lord. So we don't want to fight against God and His divine will. So therefore we all need to shut up and just accept what the British Freemasonry has given us. They have given us what we call Israel, Isis, Ra, and El. Israel, the three names of the sun god in the ancient Middle East. Israel is a product of Freemasonry. It is a Masonic creation in this whole idea of a reestablishment of the Temple of Solomon. Right now we're hearing a lot of information about, they're going to reestablish the Temple of Solomon. But nobody is telling you who is going to reestablish. Who? Where is the money coming from? Who's going to back it up and who's going to make it happen? All we're told is that somehow or another somebody is going to reestablish ancient Israel and reestablish the Temple of Solomon. And Solomon's temple is going to be reestablished. And then you think, by who? Who's got the money? Who's going to do that politically? Who? Then you you find out the whole of the entire operation for the re-establishment of the Temple of Solomon is a Masonic order headed by the Rothschild money and the British Masonic fraternities. It's an incredible story that's connected to 9/11. It's connected to World War coming on the earth. It's connected to all kinds of nefarious stuff going on in the world today that America is involved in, that Europe is involved in, and have no idea in the world that it's a Masonic movement. There is a hidden connection, very dark and very deeply hidden connection between what we call the Jewish people today and the Germanic people, the Germans. They are both connected in some occult or hidden way that is really very deep and very dark and is very interesting. So what we call the Jewish is actually Germanic or German. The Germans are connected to the Jewish ancestry, and there's a very big story here that has never been told to the people of this world by the people who dreamt all of this stuff up. It was dreamt up, I believe, during the earliest times after the change of the century.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
This picture represents the Temple of Solomon, symbolically. The mind and the heart coming together as one. See, the sun, soul, and moon, Solomon, the sun and moon coming together, uniting the masculine aspects and the feminine aspects, or in other words, action and emotion, being united to climb the ladder representing the middle pillar.
Would you say that the story of King Solomon is an allegory?
Absolutely. It is absolutely an allegory. People who think that this is all about a physical structure do not understand the allegory whatsoever.